How do you prepare to talk on camera?
Yes. Okay. We start with a tip. How do you prepare with Christina? How do you prepare talking with the camera? Christina has this trick. Christina, show it.
So, no, first I have a personal mantra.
Oh, yeah?
I now command my subconscious mind to give me everything that I need. All the knowledge, all the humor, all the expertise to give these people 10 times more than what they came for.
Wow.
So they can go out of here and not only change their life, but the life of those they love.
Wow.
Amen. And then,
Amen.
and if that didn't work, then the fire breathing, okay?
And this is how you and I are going to start our podcast.
But like, jokes apart, every time I host a workshop, every time I go on stage, I start with this personal mantra that I learned from my mentor.
Yes. Well, I love
To forget about me and to focus on the outcome I want to give to these people.
That's so 100% true. And I remember Tony Robbins, who also has the whole amplitude of exercises and vocal cords and all sorts of affirmations that he does before his humongous, enormous events of I don't know how many thousand people in his room.
Okay, good point. So my mentor is Joseph McClendon III, the guy who hosts second part of UPW.
Okay.
So
Unleash
yes,
the power
you
within of,
unleash the power within. So you've got the vibe.
Wow,
the
that's your
vibe.
mentor. Okay,
That's my
all right,
mentor.
Okay, and this is how we're starting the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Value first.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Empowerment Hub podcast. I'm super excited to have this beautiful, amazing, inspiring lady, Christina Gazi, who is a community founder, a business mentor, and a wonderful speaker, and is my guest today. Welcome, Christina. So excited to have you here for this podcast. And I know you inspire a lot of people, but before I jump into the questions, maybe you want to also introduce shortly yourself.
Thank you so much for having me today and giving the opportunity to share with you all what I found useful on my journey. Thank you. Feel very special. So, hi guys, my name is Christina Gazi and I'm a business mentor, community founder, and I help women to move from idea to profit in a freedom-based ways, in balance. And I also help a lot of women to find their way in business and life.
Amazing. So let me dive into immediately the question on how the idea came to you to help the other women on your path to advance their business, and especially in Singapore now that you've been here for a few years.
I love the question. Here we go. My background is in consulting. When I moved to Hong Kong, I joined a fiduciary services company. I have background in international business and in law. And in my previous jobs, in my previous life, I was helping individuals, corporations to start a business in Asia. However, once I got pregnant with twins, I also had a vision of being really hands-on mother. Mm-hmm. And in consulting hours, that was a little bit difficult. Mm-hmm. And I thought, how can I have it all? How can I use my knowledge, use my gifts to be, in the bigger world, but also to be hands-on for my babies, who were the most precious thing I've ever had in my life. Once I had my kids and I was getting to know women on the play dates, I realized the dilemma I had. How can I be a mother I want to be, hands-on, and keep on contributing to a bigger world, keep on living my talents, my dreams, and making money? I realized it's a universal dilemma. Yeah. And again, universe interfered second time. My neighbor, who was a talented jewelry designer, on a maternity leave just like me, she said, hey, you're helping these other people start a business. Help me. And it was literally babies everywhere, play date. I said, let's try. And she started her company. which she did a big launch. Like if you guys starting a company, do a big launch. She did a big launch where she invited everybody she knew. And at that event, she said, "Thank you, Christina, for helping me starting this business." And the rest is the history.
Amazing story. Wow. And you know what I wonder all this time is having twins, I know some moms will understand, is another level of mastery, 2 kids at the same time. What is the way that you feel having your own business, which sometimes requires so much time, including weekends can be, at least the perception is also that way, to juggle twins, kids, with the business as a woman, as an expat traveling around? How did you manage, or how are you still managing? What's showing up on the path?
That is a very good question. It's not easy. Having multiple children, you also have multiple children. Growing a business, it's not easy. But it's rarely the easy things which bring us fulfillment, which bring us joy. It's in those moments of chaos, being able to create those pockets of bliss, of joy. But jokes apart, I don't recommend anyone to start a business just to make money.
Yeah.
Find something you're passionate about so much that if you get to do this before your kids wake up, you feel lucky. You find something you love and care about so much, then for me that was a case. I would put kids to bed and I will work a little, and that will be a treat.
You know, there is this belief that I come across a lot, and I've experienced with myself, that opening your business requires a lot of time, a lot of resources until you reach the corporate salary that you had. And in your experience, because I know you worked with quite a few people, especially women, what does it take to really reach that level where you feel, hey, I am well off, versus the corporate job that I could have had? You know, what's the insights that you had on your path in that regards?
I think everybody's stories are very different. And the thing which is absolutely necessary when you're building your business is to measure your story by your vision, measure your story by your past. What I mean here, if you start a business, like in my case, my first business was based on my corporate skill. So it was really fast for me to get into the income level, which would make it worth it.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of women want to reinvent themselves, and that will take time. And one of the things which I didn't have when I was starting my second business, I didn't have patience. I wanted results straight away. And I think this is a little bit of an idea which is fed to us by social media. If you are doing what you're supposed to do, your talent, your gift, your purpose, it's supposed to be easy. No. If you're really good at what you do, it's supposed to be fast. I haven't seen that. There are people who manage to reach the financial goals faster than others, but for everybody, it's a path.
So what is success specifically for you? How do you see success?
Okay. This year, I've been redefining success quite a bit. My background is very corporate, trained lawyer, trained business, master's in business consultant. I would tend to measure everything in numbers. We're hitting numbers, we're growing numbers. And as I've been going through this path of self-development, success became having most of my core needs met.
Oh.
And I'm not even talking about all the needs. Being
important ones.
able to meet those core needs is success.
That's a new way to wrap it up.
No.
Yeah.
What about you? What is success like for you?
Success, that's interesting. For me personally, success is an emotion of contentment. an emotion of joy, of love, of what I call higher frequencies.
Ooh, I love it.
And when I experience that, that's when I know, and I knew it's very elusive because I just translate it to emotions. And of course, if you ask me, well, translate it to logic, what does it really mean if you put it in life scenario? For me, it's joy of people around me, of my family, of my friends, myself, traveling the world when I want, and to those meeting, incredible people, getting inspired. So I know very often, especially in Singapore, I come across that the success is a number, is a monetary number. But yeah, personally to me, it's really an experience of an emotion. This contentment, the joy that does not necessarily require number. And I understand that if somebody is in a situation where they don't have enough money to, for basic things, that it definitely is a number. So I don't want to take away from this understanding. In many countries, including in Georgia, there are many people that do need certain amount of money to be well off or to be even okay. But once you reach or step over that number, then for me it's just really well-being of people around, well-being of my inner self, and the peace that I experience. And that's what biggest success to me is. Also redefined with the years, because very often it was very logical measurements of how much I should achieve at my work and in other areas of life. So yes, I think it's maybe a similar way what you said about your core needs being met. What are these core needs that you had in mind?
Thank you so much for bringing out that concept. And I read this phrase, which really resonated with me. Money only matter when you don't have them.
Yeah.
And when you have them, they stop determining how happy you feel or how much inner peace you experience. It all becomes secondary. And totally very valid point that some stages in life, in many countries, reaching to a certain goal, financial goal, is ultimate goal.
Yeah. I would like to ask you about something I've experienced in Singapore. When I moved to Singapore, I realized that compared to Netherlands, because the last 10 years I lived in Netherlands, women are less likely to start their business here or
in Singapore.
In Singapore. And I know there are many reasons why this happens for expat spouses or people who arrive to Singapore, and there are many, there could be limitations in terms of visa, but there is also an internal aspect if a woman wants to do business or wants to do something herself here. I wonder if you've experienced, because I know it's also not a first move, you've traveled and you've lived in different places. How do you experience Singapore in that sense differently than other countries?
Very interesting question. So we moved to Singapore from Hong Kong, and that happened 4 years ago. We've been in Hong Kong for 7 years. I would say that from my experience, I haven't seen a big difference between Hong Kong and Singapore in terms of how many women start business. Imagine, just as my work, I'm surrounded by women who are starting their businesses and growing their businesses. So it feels like
they're all around you.
They're all around me. It's a norm. What I think is, and I've never lived in Europe, so I'm not wrong. I lived in Europe years ago, over 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and I was working, so that was different. Our environment shapes us. And in my mind, they're everywhere. Women who start business are plenty in Singapore. But I also have to say that Singapore, compared to Hong Kong, is a very comfortable place. I got so much more comfortable in Singapore. Life balance. Many will not agree, but Hong Kong was really intense. It was really gritty, like New York of Asia, as they say. So I think Singapore have a little of this relaxing vibe for many of us.
Okay, wow, that's very interesting. I moved from Netherlands, which was even way more relaxed than here.
I can imagine.
Everything is relative. Yeah.
Okay.
My question to you, I'm curious on your journey. has there been in your business journey maybe a situation where you faced it as a challenge or maybe even a mistake that you might have done that taught you any lesson?
Wow, so many mistakes, so many challenges. I would say that one thing which happened to me is really redefining what is a mistake. And I have to say, the mistake I've done before, and I sometimes do it still now, is thinking too long before taking action. In business, speed of implementation matters. There is some magic in the air where a lot of people would get similar ideas and the same of time deliver. Sometimes you need to go through a certain idea, which might not bring you what you expected, to get to the next one. And there are some ideas in my notebook which I take too long to act upon. Every time I have an idea, I write it down and I make or not make space for it. Every time I acted upon an idea, even when I didn't feel ready, even when the time wasn't right, I got rewarded.
Wow, I'd love to know. Like, and the reward comes in what form in your experience?
And for me, listen, for me, my business is a labor of love.
Yeah.
Being able to impact more women, to produce income, to get the joy that I get from work. I advocate for starting business based on your purpose, what you feel called doing. So sometimes it is pure satisfaction. Some workshops I've done were not so profitable, but just seeing the light in the other person's eyes, it costs a lot. Some projects, they brought thousands of dollars and I have no regrets. But those I didn't act upon. And then I would see someone doing it. I'll be like, damn, girl. Why? Right?
I love this sentence. My business is labor of love. And I absolutely want to highlight this because I feel very often I would experience somebody's idea on business is purely logical. You know, what would make money? Let me start that business. I see that this might make money. But to actually say that my business is the labor of love is, I find, so powerful. I want to ask you actually a question connected to what you said previously about having ideas and acting upon them. So here's a challenge that I found is you might have a lot of great ideas. And what I found, some days I have this, what I think is a wonderful idea. And next day I wake up with a second wonderful idea. So what do you personally do when there are multiple of what looks like great ideas? And how do you choose which is the idea that you really must act upon? I think a lot of people struggling to figure out, you know, the ideas. I think there can be so many.
First of all, congratulations. Sounds like someone is multi-passionate. Right? And this is me. This is a lot of my clients. Just the ability of getting focus on something is a huge task. The way I work, and I always work backwards with new clients. Imagine you are 80. Imagine you are 95. And there is not much you can change anymore. What do you regret of? What are the things in your life would you regret of not doing? Nothing can be changed. You're getting no runway of 30, 40 years, which most of my clients have right now. Most of my clients are in their 40s, 50s. They have a good 30, 40 years ahead. What would you regret? And once we are clear on what they would regret, I always work, how do you want to feel?
Like, at that age, you mean?
No, how do you want to feel living your life in 10 years?
Got it,
What is the vision? And oftentimes, and this is super important, you need to have your goal clear. You need to have your vision clear. We might be changing how we are getting there, but we are not changing the goal.
This is why I personally love vision boards. because vision boards always remind me this is where I'm heading to. And vision board has so many opportunities to edit, adapt as you move forward. But essentially, personally, I had same vision board, same vibe vision board for 8 years, which just simply adapts itself as it goes along, and I tick off a few elements. Do you work with it as well, or is it just a clear vision that you have it in your head?
Very interesting. I've never done a vision board workshop with actual pictures. I love writing, and I love writing scenarios of how that's gonna look like. And that's what I often do with my clients, offering them to write it down in their details, with their feelings, with their words. So while I love the idea of boards, I haven't personally done those due to the limitation with the pictures.
Yeah, but you do it in a written format.
Written
what it
form.
Sounds like.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what is your take on manifestation, creating your reality with your thoughts?
You've asked for it.
I'm asking for it, literally.
So I would usually not talk about it. However, a lot of the things that I have right now been manifested into my life. And my motto is manifest like it's all up to the God, or pray like it's all up to the God. Work like it's only up to you. So I think the gap I'm seeing right now with the theory of manifestation is that you can manifest without taking action.
Oh yeah, no, that is imagination. I think there's a big difference between just daydreaming and imagining versus visioning, imagining, and taking action. That's
So I'm definitely manifesting things into my life, and the first step is dare to imagine.
Absolutely.
Dare to imagine and take action, which is aligned, emotionally charged, and if it didn't work, don't change the vision, change the action.
I love it. So I'm going to ask you one thing I love to ask myself or anyone that I come across with. What's the best case scenario? What's the big picture? If everything goes, stars align, what's the best case scenario of the vision that you have for the future, for yourself, for your business, for others?
Ooh, I love it. I'm definitely in the business of helping others. So my big picture, being able to work with as many people as possible to help them, support them to get what they want. And for me, it's a mission to support more women to work like I do around their family and earn profit out of that. Earn profit so they can be flexible. So if we're talking, numbers, being able to affect 100, 200, 500, 1,000 women. I did an interview for one of the co-working platforms, something, and we had to calculate how many women I worked up to date. I was shocked, 700.
That's a solid number.
That's a solid number over the years. So maybe I would want to add 700 I cannot imagine that. Maybe, 350 every year as the years go. But being able to affect those people and being able to still be the kind of mother I want to be, present, connected with my children as they grow, to be able to be a wife in a happy, fulfilling relations. As a woman, we play so many roles, and that's the conversation of the buckets.
Yeah. I wonder, now that you say all that, and I love your big vision and how you put it also in a very, very tangible numbers that
700 scared me.
Yeah. I heard it's good to be scared of your vision sometimes. Sometimes it has to be that big. I'm not sure who said that, but it has to be that big that sometimes it can scare you if it wants. I'm curious about one thing that I noticed and I experienced myself. Women tend to sell themselves short way more than men. That is statistics from the salaries when women go and request certain salaries on the same job as men.
Yep.
I've experienced exact same thing, being on exact same role as my husband, figuring out actually I did not negotiate well enough, versus then I learned how men negotiate much better. You working with 700 and high number of women, what is one thing that we can maybe bring up as a knowledge, as a skill set to women to not sell themselves short and to own their worth, also when it comes to actual numbers?
There are several things which we've researched in a way. One thing is definitely confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to build up your own confidence to ask for things differently. Number two, men are more likely to invest in themselves.
Is that true?
And they're more likely, men and women start businesses differently. Men are more likely to invest straight away. And I'm the case. I would tend to make money, to make profit, get a case, and only then start investing. So think who grows faster.
You mean because of risk-taking skill that men have much more
Yep.
than women? Is that
Yep.
correct, right?
Women are prefer playing more safe. And that often shows in the results. Like really quicker decision making, which is an unfair advantage. Women are still seen more as a family caretaker, elderly parent caretaker, and sometimes it's also just that which gets on the way. Afraid of taking more responsibility. Would I be able to deliver?
Mm-hmm.
How would I be able to deliver with 24 hours? Another thing which is oftenly discussed in the corporate world, especially, access to networks.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a lot of time the boys' club, right? How do women change the culture so the playing field equals up?
Mm-hmm. How do you then, in this case, how can we help women to feel more confident about themselves in your experience?
Confidence is not something you can grow in a day's time. It's really those actions that you take on a daily basis, all those inward looking, finding the things you can be proud of, managing your inner talk. Women are more likely to have anxiety and depression. Why? Super self-critical inner talk, managing those inner critic. And there are lots of coaching tools, there are lots of neuroencoding tools to manage the narrative, how you speak to yourself. Because what we think, if you think you're not good enough, you start feeling like you're not good enough. When you feel you're not good enough, you act like you are not good enough. And that's the result that you get. And often people come and they would want to change the strategy, right? What is the strategy to do that? The strategy starts here.
100% agree.
Starting with the inner talk. And this is probably the easiest one.
To start the inner talk?
This is the easiest one you can do to increase your confidence. Just by talking, checking your inner conversations.
Did you ever experience time where you felt less confident?
God!
What did you do? I want to know. I want to know a real life scenario story. Did you use any information? What was yours?
So something you have to understand is I'm an expat, right? I'm an expat immigrant. If we're talking in like a plain language, right?
Yeah.
Speaking not in my language, oftentimes finding myself out of my comfort zone. When I moved to Hong Kong and I started working in consulting, I was shocked how many people I would work with would have education from the top universities.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. But me, I didn't feel that I can measure up in many ways. So, of course, there was something which I had to learn along the way, speaking up in the boardrooms first, doing what you are supposed to do, not what you think you're capable of. Definitely wasn't comfortable talking at the events or leading events.
How did you grow in your confidence? Was there a ritual? Was there a habit? Was there...
I do think, sounds so cheesy, but everything starts with a self-love. This idea, I felt I'm not good enough. But once you have the conversations with women, so many women feeling like they are not good enough. How do we change that, right? And it starts with allowing yourself to love yourself enough to accept that you are good enough and you are deserving. And you expand your knowledge base. That would be ridiculous. Not doing anything and growing in confidence. You become better. You learn things, you're closing gaps, but it all has to happen in parallel with inner work. Talking, checking your inner conversations.
Did you ever experience time where you felt less confident?
Oh my God.
What did you do? I want to know. I want to know a real life scenario story. Did you use any affirmation? What was yours?
So something you have to understand is I'm an expat, right? I'm an expat immigrant. If we're talking in like a plain language, right?
Yeah.
Speaking not in my language, oftentimes finding myself out of my comfort zone. When I moved to Hong Kong and I started working in consulting, I was shocked how many people I would work with would have education from the top universities.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. But me, I didn't feel that I can measure up in many ways. So, of course, there was something which I had to learn along the way, speaking up in the boardrooms first, doing what you are supposed to do, not what you think you're capable of. Definitely wasn't comfortable talking at the events or leading events.
How did you grow in your confidence? Was there a ritual? Was there a habit? Was there...
I do think, sounds so cheesy, but everything starts with a self-love. This idea, I felt I'm not good enough. But once you have the conversations with women, so many women feeling like they are not good enough. How do we change that, right? And it starts with allowing yourself to love yourself enough to accept that you are good enough and you are deserving. And you expand your knowledge base. That would be ridiculous. Not doing anything and growing in confidence. You become better. You learn things, you're closing gaps, but it all has to happen in parallel with inner work.
Yeah, absolutely. And action.
And taking action. You I think one of the things which I am proud of, and it was not easy, to learn to work with the feedback. You do something and maybe feedback is not what you want. What do you do from there? And the old me would be like, that's it, I'm not good enough. What I learned is, how do I take this and make it my advantage? So next time I'm better.
Yeah, it's a journey, and you're right, it's never in one day. It took me, for example, you talked about speaking in the boardrooms. To me, it was public speaking, and it took me quite a training to move from I cannot stand public speaking to I love public speaking. And it took me going to the meetings of Toastmasters and telling myself in the mirror, I love it, I'm good, like affirmations and believing in myself. So,
but 100%. I'm curious why you decided to go for public speaking if you didn't love it.
I think public speaking is a metaphor for me, and I believe is a metaphor to a lot of us, is expressing yourself. Public speaking is one of the biggest fear and one of the most dramatic one, where I heard people are better to die than go on the stage in front of a lot of people. But for me, it's essentially freeing yourself from one of the biggest fear of judgment.
Oh, wow.
And what it means is that you don't just free yourself of judgment of when you speak, it's expressing yourself. in whatever form and shape. And that's why I went directly, so let's master public speaking. I want to be that. And it was really 180-degree shift that I had to go through, but it was definitely years. I mean, it was not an overnight shift from being anxious to being, yeah, I love it. Thanks for asking.
That is beautiful.
So what I would love to ask is, from your experience, what is still the most challenging factor for women to start their business? And is there even a difference between challenge for women and men in starting their business in your experience?
Right. This is another interesting question. We did discuss the confidence bit. I do think that men are faster in investing themselves, and one of the parts about business is fail faster. One thing I'm preoccupied right now is the development of AI. A lot of women think they're not good enough with tech, and they're not planning to fix it. And when we look stats about who are the founders of AI companies, we're talking about shift of power influence funds, right? Who are the people behind AI companies? And this is quite a bit male dominated. If we are not talking about implementation, at least we are talking about ownership of those companies. So I would say we have to do one thing differently, implement as much technology as the men would.
Oh, wow. Okay. Can I ask you then, very practical, do you have a certain technology in mind that you want to give as a tip to our listeners? Like, try out this, or is it just AI in general?
I think whatever you want to save time on in your business, whatever you want to automate in your business, whatever problem you have in your business, search for a particular AI tool which can help you resolve that.
Okay.
Because
there's an AI for everything these days.
There is an AI for everything, and I think it can be so overwhelming. There is a learning curve. It would be stupid to say there is none. If you take an app and you try to use it so you will save time, it will take you some time. I would not want you to go and try 10 apps just for joy of trying them. What I would want you to think, what is one thing I'm ready to automate? What is one thing I don't like doing and I want to do it? Go and search for the app to do it.
And that, dear friends, leads me to a question. What if somebody right now wants to start their business? What's the first thing, apart from the big idea and big vision, that you would advise a person to take as a first step?
Wow. Go and talk to your ideal customers. Identify who are the people you want this business to serve, and have as many conversations as you humanly can with them. What are their needs? What are their dreams? How do they want solution to be delivered? Sell before you are ready.
I heard this so many times, and I have to say it's not easy to sell before you're ready. So I really want to dig deeper here. Give us some more information on how do you sell before the product is there. I'd love to know.
So the idea is that people buy into vision. People buy into your confidence. People buy into your solution. You can invite them. Think about all these apps where you fundraise before the product is ready.
I've never done, to be honest. But there must be,
There is a concept of crowdsourcing when you show them an idea. This is what it's gonna be,
and if
they like it, they fund what you want, what you need. And if you think selling the idea would be hard, trust me, selling the real thing
Is even
would
more
be
hard.
same hard. The problem with sales, which I see, is most women I work with, like yourself, they're passionate about what they do, right? But business comes with a variety of tasks. Until you can hire someone, sales is one of them. And when I started the business, I had this idea, I'm good. I want people to come to me. Like that, my first client, she came to me. And my second and third, they came to me. But as the business grows,
You need to search for them.
it comes a point when you're like, okay, that's my time to be able, and this is something I talk about, being able to generate leads consistently. And this would determine the success of many female-owned businesses. And sales are hard to outsource to start with. This amazing story of Sarah Blakely when she got into this, you know the shapewear for women? Sarah
No.
Blakely, the first, the youngest female-made self-billionaire, was selling a shapewear.
Okay.
And when she got in this big American, I don't remember the name of the store, she realized the sales were not as good as she expected. Nobody was there selling her Spanx products. So for months or weeks, the story goes, she was there selling it herself.
Really, physically selling
Selling herself. That's what happens when you want it.
Wow. And she made, I mean,
She
obviously
made it. She made it. Her stories are amazing.
I would love to know, you already mentioned a specific case, but do you have a certain person, maybe woman, who inspired you and where you thought, oh, I would love to do either sales or business like her, and you are following that certain vibe, energy pattern?
My God, so many.
I would love to know.
I just love watching Oprah talking to people. When I started, I was watching a lot of Marie Forleo content. Do you know her?
I know her. She's really stellar.
Like the positive attitude, the jokes, the dance. It was just amazing. I quite like stories from Sarah Blakely. She has more than 3 or 4 children, I think, and her husband is also an entrepreneur. So that is a fun house to look at. The truth being, so many women in my circle inspire me.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah.
With how they approach life, how they approach their fitness.
I have this question. I'm very curious if you thought about it or what you think about it. Is what I noticed, the women who take action and who somehow find success, and especially with business and their sales, often use their inner male energy.
Okay.
And those who don't and just operate in their very feminine energy, only being mother, wife. And of course, you still need, a lot of structure there to operate difficult, challenging settings of multiple kids and everything. But I sensed that shift happened within me and in my business when I turned on my male energy and I thought, okay, let's get business going. And it's kind of, I don't know what you think about that, or have you even thought of that in that way? Maybe I'm just meaning very much a logical energy when I'm saying a male energy.
To be honest, this is not my area of deep expertise. And I don't have an opinion or an answer to what you say. What I've seen, that there is a lot of these expectations online that you can be all in flow, all feminine, and things would just come to you. I haven't seen much of that. You can be feminine and still get things done. And is it a male energy? Is it a female energy? But getting things done consistently is the energy that we need. Innovate. Things don't work. And the speed at which industries are moving right now, requiring us to innovate. So many women come to me right now and saying things don't work they used to. We are in the era where it's constant innovation. Is it a male energy? I don't know.
So I think what I mean is this flowy, let it be energy, let's enjoy. For me, is what I call more feminine energy, being more in tune, more in flow. And the energy that says, let's get it done, let's be logical, let's look at numbers, let's see what we need, let's do it. Let's learn this new AI tool which changes every single day. That for me is that very logical, very down to earth male energy. And I feel that the balance of these two is required to be happy and get results going at the same time.
Maybe there are exceptions, but probably exceptions confirm the rules. I guess I would agree with you.
Yeah, because I think even the examples, if you look at Marie Forleo or those women that really made it, would it be Oprah, it does bring a lot of let's get things done energy.
Maybe women were just not evaluated correctly. I think this is probably historically. It's not male-female energy. It's just how people do things.
How we got molded into.
Yeah, exactly. Because every woman has that ability to get things done. Like every stay-at-home mom gets done 222 things.
All the chores.
Every day.
The toughest job, yes, 100%. If there is a woman or a person who thinks it's too late for me, my time has passed. Especially, let's say women in their 50s or people in their 50s, 60s. What's your take on that?
I'm not buying into that.
Yeah,
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I've been to the art exhibition and there was this art piece which really caught my attention. And I was asking about it. The artist was a lady from Japan in her, I think, late 90s or early 100s, who had a successful jazz career. And when she retired from her 70s or 80s, she started doing glass art and became one of the most prominent Japanese glass artists. You choose. You really choose what you're up to. And we're living in an amazing time where age is really a number. Is there still a lot of ageism going on? Yes. However,
never.
When you get discriminated based on your age,
100%.
It will get tougher for people to get jobs as they reach a certain age. That is there.
Behind the scenes question. If you didn't know how old you were, okay, we are not disclosing that, by the way. I'm just asking. Like, you would wake up, how old would you feel? Forget about your passport. Energetically, like on a feeling basis.
Ooh. I would say ageless, full of possibilities.
Ageless. Wow. Look at that. Ageless. I love that. All right, ladies listening, ageless, full of possibilities. A new mantra. This is a new lovely mantra.
What would you say? What would it be like for you?
I got stuck at age of 27, 28.
Interesting.
29. So that is my... somehow I did not proceed after the years passed, but I did not proceed after that in my energetic state of being. But I absolutely agree that age is just a number. I've seen 80-year-old who just really feel way younger. And I have to say, when I was 25, I felt way more older. In terms of also tired and older, it's also how much energy you have. I believe that defines how old you feel and how you feel about your age. So that's what I noticed. But 100% agree, any age is a good age to start a business. And we have a great business mentor here.
I do agree with you that it's about energy. How much energy you have for yourself and others will determine how do you feel. But it's such a number. I think that was one of the tricks when I was younger, growing up in post-Sovietic Republic, I felt a pressure to hit certain milestones by certain age. Getting married by was like 25, getting a first child by 27. So there's like so many timestamps which I felt as a younger self having to follow. Now I refuse.
Yeah, in post-Sovietic era, we had to overcome a lot of limiting beliefs and perceptions that were granted to us. So
Heritage. Wait, what would that be for you? Or what is like one thing you had to?
Well, being born in Georgia, there were a lot of things how women should be. So I don't know where even to start from. And it was never really the feeling of freedom that I've experienced. That's the reason why I traveled and changed many countries, so I would feel actually free. But it's such an inner construct. That's what I learned. It's at the end of your inner construct and what you perceive and how you interpret things that changes. So in any country, you can feel great and free as long as you tell yourself, as long as you look from the most positive possible angle. That's what I learned at this age.
Oh, wow.
What I'd love to ask you is a few quicker blitz questions, kind of. What's the best business advice you've ever received?
Funny enough, I had a mentoring session this morning, and when I was starting my business, Maria, amazing lady, told me, collect the contact information of any and every person you come across with. Start building your clients, supporters, curious people database. And I did. From, I think, third event. And that single advice created so many opportunities, so many thousands of dollars. It's just wild.
Wow. So if I may ask, when you have all this contact information, what's your next step? Do you just reach out, meet them, or?
So this is a good question. I'm a big believer of the business, digital business, and I love connecting with people. But as a mother, as I was growing my business, as I was growing my babies, I couldn't go out and meet everybody I wanted. I couldn't have a coffee with every potential client or opportunity. Newsletter. Is what we got me there. For every event we did, we promoted our newsletters. So whenever I have something, I could share it one to many. And just being able to communicate one to many is a game changer for many, many businesses.
Yeah, of course. That's a very good tip. Thanks for sharing. Is there a favorite book you have?
I don't have a favorite book. However, when I was in corporate working in consulting, I read this book, The 4-Hour Week by Tim Ferriss. And it gave me an idea. Wow, can you run a successful, profitable business and working 4 hours a week? I'm not there yet. However, that gave me a lot of ideas.
Give me one.
It's all about creating a business. And actually, he introduces this idea, sell before you have it.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Run ads, create landing pages.
So very practical tools.
Very
tips,
practical.
yeah.
They were advised how to manage a virtual assistant and how to have a virtual assistant. I never thought about it before this conversation, but maybe I got my virtual assistant very early on in my business. In fact, that really helped me grow. You shouldn't be, like, a lot of women have this, okay, I'm going to hire someone when I'm going to make money, but they're so frustrated with little tasks.
They never get there, right?
Which they are not good at. But having a faith in your idea is crucial. So I think I think they changed the book a bit over the years. I read it.
A while ago.
It's
quite old. Yeah, indeed. What's one daily habit to keep you on track?
Going out for walks or going out to the gym has been crucial in my energy management. if I don't do either of those, at least I journal.
Okay.
So managing energy over anything.
When you journal, is it like business journaling or is it just overall daily journaling of?
There is this practice called the morning pages, which is from the book The Artist's Way. You just take everything which is on your mind, whatever it is, business, life, kids, husband, whatever it is, and you just put it on the pages. So by the time the day starts, your mind is clear and you can focus. That helps me all the time.
Great tip.
Thank you.
Requires consistency, but a great tip.
I choose to do at least one thing. Like maybe I don't journal every day, but it's either journaling, walking, gym. What about you?
Well, one thing that is non-negotiable for me is meditation every single morning. Yeah, and putting the radio dials in the right direction, looking at my vision board, working with my vision board, and reminding this where I'm heading to. This is what.
Wow.
That's the biggest one, I guess, that I really do very rigorously.
How many minutes it takes you?
I dedicate to my meditative and this visioning, I guess, tuning up practices at least 45 minutes every day in the morning.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's the beginning of my day, which helps a lot.
What time do you start your day? I'm just curious.
My day starts after the kids are off to school at 7:45.
Okay, 7:45. Okay, because I think a lot of tips about morning routines, which I see online, let's be honest, are really tough on the moms.
Oh yeah,
like you know, even Tony Robbins, bless him, like the things which are taking place are not always possible when you first need to get people out of the house.
Yeah.
And
That's why for me it only starts when, as you said, my little people and everybody's there out, and then I have my own time. Yeah,
Good.
All right, what is this? A fun question, okay? If success mindset had a theme song, what song would it be?
We were talking about feminine energy and masculine energy, and there's this song which is "I'm a Woman."
Which one is it? I want to hear it.
And it goes like, "I'm a woman, I'm masculine, I'm a feminine, I'm whatever I want to be."
Did you just make it up? It's a true song?
It's a true song.
It's a real song. Okay, well,
I'm creative.
Let's hear the song.
Creative.
Who is singing that?
Let me just.
Dear friends, we're going to have a karaoke.
I put it on during the session today.
Oh, well, there you go.
Here we go.
Okay. Wow. Amy Mayo.
I'm a woman, I'm fearless, I'm sexy, I'm divine.
Okay, ladies, we're going to put the link to the songs, all these great affirmations.
Exactly.
You can listen to that.
And this is like about being anything you want. We've been taught one version of success.
There are millions.
3.
Yeah.
As many people.
I love it. Thank you so much. And the final question that I ask in my street interviews, and I'm curious what you're going to say.
Street interviews?
Yes, my friend. I started to do some street interviews. If you haven't watched, please take a look.
Drop the link in the comment. I want to see.
If you, my friend, had unlimited amount of money, what would you do?
And I've been thinking about it. I would be doing everything I'm doing right now at a larger scale.
Okay.
Like through my work, I love to support girls and ocean, and maybe I'm a biggest ocean fan you can find. I love swimming in the ocean, being by the ocean, seeing the creatures. So out of what I do, I would still be doing the same. Coaching women or speaking, but being able to give back more just because I work with more people. And
what would you do for the ocean? I love that vision so much.
What we do, as she's got a business, is we adopted a baby girl. We sponsor a baby girl in Cambodia from the proceeds, and for years I've been paying for some girls in India for the education. It's only possible because the business is profitable, right? And this year we've added contribution to the cleaning ocean efforts from the profit that we're making from the business.
That is lovely.
So, and I think this is a good thing about business. It's flexible and you can do anything you want with that.
Amazing. Okay, well, I wish that all the abundance flows to you for your
Thank
beautiful
you.
vision and for all the people you're helping. So, for the closing, anything that you want to tell our listeners, maybe some ladies or girls, anybody who's listening, any final tips from your end?
Whatever you can imagine, you can create it. You would not get that vision if you didn't have everything that you need to bring that into your life.
Wow, that's a powerful manifestation tip, actually, towards the end of the session.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so
It was
much for
such a
being here.
pleasure. Now I want to see your board.
My vision.
Your vision board.
All right, now we opened this session in a very fun way. What's the fun way you want to close this podcast? Any outro, breathing exercises from Tony Robbins?
I would
any
be
mantra?
Okay, let it all come to you. If you have any rituals before tuning into your vision board, I'd love that too.
Oh, just as a final tip.
Yeah.
All I do is, first of all, I always imagine that reality is already here, and breath work is a very important practice, I feel. Whatever it is that you truly want, you know how they say breathe in peace, breathe in joy, breathe in vision board. The energy on your vision board and all the joy that you put there and all the abundance that you put there, breathe that energy in because it charges your being. And with that, I also want to wish all our listeners, our viewers, all the best, all the luck, all the right mindset for their business, for their lives, for all the areas. And thank you once again for showing up and inspiring. And that's that.